Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has come to awaken to the infinite possibilities that surround you. Wealth is not a matter of chance, nor a stroke of luck. It is the natural expression of your divine right. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, is a seed planted in the fertile soil of the universe, and prosperity is the flower that inevitably grows when you nurture it with faith and clarity. To walk the fast path to wealth, one must first understand that riches are not external, but a reflection of the inner consciousness. Imagine, if you will, a stream of abundance flowing unceasingly toward you, carrying all that you require for comfort, joy, and creative expression. This stream is invisible to the eyes, yet utterly real to the heart that believes. It is fueled by the understanding that the universe is a generous partner, ever ready to supply the needs of those who recognize their rightful inheritance. Doubt and fear are the only barriers that turn the current aside, but faith, spoken words, and deliberate mental focus can summon it with astonishing speed. The fast path to wealth does not lie in endless struggle or exhausting toil, but in the intelligent use of the mind and the spoken word. When you affirm your prosperity, when you declare that abundance is your birthright, you set a divine law into motion. The universe responds with obedience to the clarity and power of your declaration. It is not the size of your bank account that matters, nor the number of possessions you accumulate, but the consciousness from which you operate. A mind attuned to lack will always encounter limitation, while a mind attuned to limitless supply will discover doors opening where walls once appeared. You must also understand that prosperity is not merely material. True wealth encompasses peace, love, and the freedom to express your highest self. When these elements are honored within, the outer world must inevitably conform to reflect your inner riches. Therefore, cultivate gratitude for every blessing. Speak words that uplift, and see with vision unclouded by fear. Let go of resentment, doubt, and the habit of worrying about what has not yet appeared. These are the chains that delay your progress. Instead, claim your rightful inheritance with a sense of joy, knowing that your provision is already on its way. There is a law in the universe that responds instantly to the vibration of your desire, provided it is free from contradiction and filled with unwavering faith. The more clearly you see your goal, the more rapidly it is brought into manifestation. You need not wait, you need not struggle, you need only align yourself with the eternal abundance that flows to all who are prepared to receive. Prosperity is not a reward for effort. It is the natural, inevitable outcome of right thinking, right speaking, and steadfast faith. Wealth is not merely the accumulation of gold, possessions, or titles. It is the outward manifestation of an inner state, a reflection of the consciousness that you hold within. To understand this is to unlock a door that many spend their entire lives attempting to force open with struggle and endless labor. Consider for a moment that your mind is like a garden, fertile and capable of producing an abundant harvest. If you plant seeds of fear, limitation, and doubt, you will find that your harvest is sparse, twisted, and unfulfilling. But if you plant seeds of faith, clarity, and expectation of good, the universe responds as faithfully as the sun rises each morning. Wealth, then, is a living, breathing expression of your inner life, a mirror held up by the universe reflecting exactly what you cultivate within. The majority of individuals approach wealth as if it is something separate, something outside themselves that must be sought, begged for, or battled to acquire. They see riches as distant treasures, hidden in some fortress of effort, and their minds become tense with worry, impatience, and sometimes envy. Yet all of these thoughts act as barriers, walls that block the natural flow of abundance that is already surrounding them. Imagine a river of gold and opportunity flowing endlessly, but you insist on standing on the bank in fear, trying to scoop up water with your hands while believing that the stream might run dry. That is the condition of a mind fixed on the external struggle. True wealth never comes from grasping or striving. It comes from the alignment of consciousness with the law of abundance. Your mind is the creative force. Every thought you entertain is a tiny seed sent into the invisible field of the universe, and it will bear fruit according to the nature of that thought. This is why it is essential to maintain vigilance over the inner dialogue. Thoughts such as "I can never be rich" or "opportunities are scarce" act as spells that bind the mind and limit the flow of prosperity. Conversely, thoughts of gratitude, expectation, and divine provision summon wealth as naturally as light draws the eyes. Each affirmation spoken with conviction is like watering the seeds of abundance within the soul. You cannot force the garden to grow, but you can ensure that it is well tended and free from weeds of doubt and fear. The mind that is consciously aligned with abundance becomes a magnet for wealth in all its forms. To dwell in this state of consciousness requires more than positive thinking. It requires a deep understanding of the law of correspondence. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. If your thoughts are confused, filled with scarcity, or contradictory, your external circumstances will reflect that confusion. But if you cultivate clarity and certainty, if you see yourself already possessing the wealth you desire, then the external world rearranges itself to mirror that inner reality. Many people misunderstand this principle and believe that effort alone, without a corresponding mental alignment, will bring riches. They work tirelessly, sometimes exhausting themselves, only to find that their efforts yield little reward. This is because the inner alignment of consciousness is absent. Effort without inner harmony is like trying to push a boat upstream. The water itself resists. Wealth is also tied to the ability to recognize opportunity. But recognition does not come to the mind clouded with worry or disbelief. A mind tuned to fear cannot perceive the avenues of abundance that are constantly appearing. It is like trying to see the stars through a storm of clouds. The brilliance is there, but the observer is blind. On the other hand, a mind in the state of expectation filled with faith sees doors where others see walls, and finds solutions where others see obstacles. The law of manifestation moves with speed in the presence of clear, unwavering consciousness. It is not a matter of chance, it is a law as certain as gravity. It is also important to recognize that the consciousness of wealth is not measured solely by financial gain. True wealth is the sense of security, joy, and freedom that comes from knowing that the universe is your ally. You cannot fully experience this wealth if your mind is mired in anxiety or comparison. The inner consciousness of plenty allows one to move through life with ease, knowing that the universe provides exactly what is required at the exact right moment. This inner security is a form of wealth, far superior to gold, because it is not subject to fluctuation or decay. When you cultivate this inner awareness, material abundance flows as a natural accompaniment, not as a desperate chase. The cultivation of wealth consciousness requires discipline and awareness. Daily habits of thought and speech shape the inner garden and determine the quality of the harvest. It is necessary to observe the mind with the same care a gardener observes the soil, noticing negative tendencies and replacing them with thoughts of faith, expectation, and certainty. Visualization, affirmation, and gratitude are tools that help align consciousness with abundance. Each act of recognition of the good already present strengthens the inner conviction that more good is on its way. There is a rhythm to this law, a natural cycle of thought, belief, and manifestation that operates tirelessly, whether or not one is consciously aware of it. Moreover, wealth is never a matter of luck or random fortune. The universe does not distribute riches according to whim or favoritism. It responds to consciousness, and consciousness is the sum total of thought, belief, and mental habit. The person who understands this principle works not against the universe but with it, using thought as a tool, word as a decree, and expectation as the key to unlock the channels of prosperity. The fast path to wealth, therefore, is not through effort alone, but through intelligent, deliberate alignment of the mind, recognizing that the outer world is a mirror of the inner state. The more one practices the awareness of consciousness as the source of wealth, the more effortless the process becomes. Life begins to reflect opportunities, support, and abundance in ways that seem almost miraculous, yet are perfectly natural to the law. By understanding that wealth is first and foremost a reflection of the inner consciousness, one releases struggle and embraces the natural flow of prosperity. In this state, abundance is no longer a distant goal, but a living, breathing experience, unfolding continuously and responding faithfully to the consciousness that nurtures it. Faith is the invisible bridge that connects desire with manifestation, the silent current that carries thought into form. Without faith, the mind wanders, scattered and uncertain, grasping at possibilities without ever securing them. But with faith, the path to wealth becomes illuminated, and abundance flows as naturally as a river to the sea. Faith is not a passive belief, it is a dynamic, creative force. It is the unwavering conviction that what you desire already exists in the invisible realm, and that it is moving toward you with perfect precision. To summon prosperity quickly, one must cultivate faith not as a hope for the future, but as a certainty in the present moment. The spoken word is the instrument through which faith is translated into reality. Every declaration you make, every affirmation you speak with authority and conviction, acts as a command to the universe. Words are not empty sounds, they are vessels of power, capable of shaping circumstances, drawing opportunities, and opening doors that were previously unseen. When you declare abundance, you are not asking for it, you are asserting your right to it. You are aligning your inner consciousness with the universal law that responds to clear, unwavering intention. Affirmations, then, are more than repetition. They are declarations of truth, statements of fact that the universe cannot ignore. Consider for a moment the process of manifestation. The universe operates according to law, and one of the most fundamental laws is that it responds to consciousness. The mind that is filled with doubt, hesitation, or contradiction sends a fragmented signal, and the outer world mirrors that fragmentation. But the mind that is clear, focused, and assertive sends a powerful current that cannot fail to produce results. Faith and affirmations act together like a key and a lock. Faith unlocks the door of possibility, and the spoken word turns the key, allowing the treasures of the invisible world to enter into form. It is not the quantity of words that matters, but the conviction behind them. One declaration made with unwavering faith can accomplish more than 1,000 half-hearted statements. The speed with which prosperity comes is directly proportional to the clarity and intensity of the declaration. The universe is a mirror that reflects exactly what is impressed upon it, and it does so without delay. Every doubt, hesitation, or fear can slow the current, but every confident, positive word accelerates it. This is why it is essential to monitor not only the words spoken to others, but also the thoughts and words spoken to oneself. Inner dialogue is the blueprint from which outer experience is built. A mind that declares, "I am prosperous, abundance flows to me freely," sends a clear signal that is irresistibly attractive to opportunity, resources, and ideas. Conversely, a mind that mutters, "I cannot afford this, I will never succeed," creates resistance and delays fulfillment. The practice of affirmations requires repetition and persistence, but it is not a mechanical exercise. It is the conscious, joyful recognition of a truth that already exists in the invisible realm. When affirmations are spoken with faith, they generate a magnetic force that draws circumstances into alignment with your inner vision. Imagine your words as seeds planted in the soil of the universe, each carrying the essence of your desire. Some seeds sprout immediately, while others may take time to mature, but every seed responds faithfully to the energy of belief. The key is consistency and the refusal to waver in doubt or fear. Faith is also strengthened through visualization. When you see yourself already enjoying the wealth you desire, when you feel the emotions of satisfaction, gratitude, and joy as though it is already present, you are creating a vibrational reality that cannot be denied. Words alone are powerful, but words combined with vivid, living images of success magnify the effect. The mind responds to these images as if they are facts, and the outer world aligns itself accordingly. This alignment is the essence of the fast path to prosperity. The clearer the inner picture, the swifter the outer manifestation. Many people fail to recognize the importance of the emotional element in their affirmations. Faith without feeling is like a flame without heat. It exists, but it does not radiate energy. To summon prosperity quickly, one must feel the reality of abundance deeply, letting the emotions of security, freedom, and gratitude flow through the heart and mind. Emotion is the amplifier of thought. It gives power to the word and urgency to the declaration. The universe responds not only to thought but to the emotional charge behind it. When the mind declares, "I am wealthy, I am secure, I am free," and the heart feel, It is true, the current of abundance accelerates toward realization. It is also essential to avoid contradiction. The law of manifestation is precise and impartial. If the mind declares wealth but secretly harbors fear or doubt, the signal sent to the universe is confused, and the result is delayed or distorted. To summon abundance rapidly, faith and declarations must be unwavering, free from any inner contradiction. This requires self-awareness, careful observation of thoughts, and deliberate replacement of any negative or conflicting ideas with positive, assertive statements. Consistency in thought and word is the magnet that draws prosperity swiftly. Gratitude acts as the reinforcement of faith. Every acknowledgement of abundance already present strengthens the current and opens channels for greater wealth. The practice of thanking the universe for what is coming, even before it has fully materialized, signals complete trust in the invisible law and speeds the arrival of desired outcomes. It is not merely polite acknowledgement. It is the conscious recognition that the law is working and that your faith and declarations are affecting real change in the unseen world. Through the combination of faith, positive affirmations, visualization, emotional engagement, and gratitude, the path to wealth becomes fast and certain. Each element reinforces the other, creating a powerful cycle of attraction and manifestation. When you maintain faith as a constant presence, declare your prosperity with conviction, and nurture your inner vision with vivid imagery and heartfelt emotion, the universe cannot help but respond. It is a law as certain as the sun rising, a principle that works tirelessly whether or not the world around you recognizes it, and it is the fastest path to lasting abundance, provided the mind is aligned and the heart is faithful. Doubt, fear, and negative word are the silent thieves that rob the mind of its natural power to attract prosperity. They are like shadows that fall across the sunlit path, dimming the brilliance of opportunity and causing hesitation where swift action is required. Many people fail to realize that these elements are not simply natural reactions to circumstance, they are conscious or unconscious choices that shape the very reality they experience. Every fearful thought, every word of limitation spoken, and every lingering doubt acts as a block to the flow of abundance. These are not external forces acting upon you, but internal conditions that determine the outcomes of life. Wealth is a reflection of consciousness, and if the consciousness is clouded with fear or doubt, the reflection will be distorted. Fear is one of the most potent obstacles to prosperity. It shrinks the mind and diminishes the ability to recognize opportunity. Fear says, "There is not enough," or "I am not capable," or "If I try, I may fail." These statements, though subtle, carry enormous weight in the invisible realm. The law of manifestation is impartial. It responds to the energy that is impressed upon it. When fear dominates, the energy you radiate is one of contraction and limitation, and the universe mirrors that energy with circumstances that reinforce your doubts. Prosperity cannot flow into a heart that is closed with fear. To clear this obstruction, one must become vigilant, recognizing fear when it arises and refusing to give it voice in thought or word. Each moment that fear is permitted to persist is a moment in which the current of abundance is diverted or slowed. Doubt is equally destructive. Doubt questions the very existence of what you desire and undermines faith. It whispers, "Are you sure this is possible? Or what if it doesn't happen?" In doing so, it creates a conflict in consciousness. The mind cannot send a clear signal to the universe when it is torn between belief and skepticism. This is why doubt is so insidious. It masquerades as caution or realism, but it is in truth a barrier that delays manifestation. To eliminate doubt, one must adopt absolute confidence in the reality of abundance and the power of the law. Doubt cannot coexist with clear, unwavering faith. One must consciously choose to release it and replace it with the certainty that what is promised is already on its way. Negative words are the spoken expressions of fear and doubt. They are the vessels through which destructive energy is sent into the universe. When you say, "I can't afford this, it's impossible," or "I will never succeed," you are not merely describing a circumstance, you are creating one. Words are instruments of creation, and negative words call forth limitation. They plant seeds in the invisible realm that grow into tangible obstacles. On the other hand, positive words affirming prosperity, abundance, and opportunity act as magnets, drawing resources and circumstances to support your desires. The difference between those who achieve rapid prosperity and those who struggle endlessly lies in the mastery of the spoken word and the vigilance with which it is employed. Fear, doubt, and negative words often appear disguised as prudence or realism, and many accept them without question. I am just being realistic. People say, not realizing that realism is often a cloak for inner uncertainty. The law of the universe does not recognize excuses. It responds only to the energy impressed upon it. The mind that is filled with negativity cannot perceive the invisible channels of supply, and thus it misses opportunities that are constantly flowing. It is as if one were standing in the middle of a gold mine with eyes closed, unable to see or reach the treasure that surrounds them. The removal of these mental and verbal blocks is therefore the first step toward the rapid attraction of wealth. It is essential to understand that these negative influences are not only external circumstances, but internal habits. Fear arises from memories, from imagined scenarios, or from the absorption of others' doubts and limitations. Doubt creeps in when the mind vacillates between hope and hesitation, questioning the reality of promises that exist in the invisible realm. Negative words are the habitual expression of these inner conditions, spoken without thought or restraint. Awareness is the key to liberation. One must begin to monitor every thought and every utterance, noting when fear, doubt, or negativity appears, and deliberately replacing it with words and thoughts that affirm abundance, security, and success. The process of replacing fear and doubt with faith and affirmation requires conscious effort, but it is not difficult. It begins with observation, noticing the moment when fear arises and refusing to accept it as truth. Each time a fearful thought is challenged and replaced with a declaration of abundance, the current of prosperity flows more freely. For example, the thought, "I cannot afford this," can be replaced with the affirmation, "I am supplied with all that I need, and abundance flows to me in every form." This is not a superficial exercise. It is a realignment of consciousness that shifts the energy from limitation to opportunity. Doubt is dismantled in a similar manner. Each time the mind begins to question, one must immediately declare faith in the reality of the desired outcome. Thoughts of uncertainty must be met with vivid images of fulfillment, accompanied by emotions of gratitude and joy. The law of the universe responds to clarity, focus, and emotional intensity. Doubt weakens that signal, scattering energy in multiple directions and delaying manifestation. By steadfastly replacing doubt with faith, one creates a clear channel through which prosperity can move without obstruction. Negative words must be disciplined as well. Speech is not merely communication, it is creation in action. Words spoken carelessly, without awareness of their power, create results as surely as thoughts do. The habit of complaining, criticizing, or expressing limitation must be replaced with affirmations of provision, success, and opportunity. Each positive word strengthens the invisible current, attracting circumstances and people who align with your vision of prosperity. In contrast, each negative word erects a wall that must later be removed before manifestation can occur. Fear, doubt, and negative words also affect the emotions, which in turn influence the vibration of consciousness. Anxiety, worry, and frustration lower the vibrational state, making it increasingly difficult to attract the good you desire. The emotional body responds to the mental state, and a mind clouded with fear or doubt will invariably experience stress and tension, which act as further blocks to abundance. Cultivating calm, joyful expectation, and emotional confidence is therefore as essential as cultivating positive thought and speech. Emotion amplifies thought, and thought directs energy. Together, they create the magnetic field that draws wealth quickly. By recognizing the destructive nature of fear, doubt, and negative words, and by deliberately replacing them with faith, affirmations, and gratitude, one clears the path for prosperity to flow. This is the secret of those who attract abundance with apparent ease. They do not struggle against circumstances, they struggle against the inner conditions that prevent manifestation. Wealth is never delayed when consciousness is clear, focused, and unwavering, and it is always blocked when the mind is clouded with fear, doubt, or limitation. True wealth is far more than the accumulation of money or possessions. It is a state of consciousness, a condition of the heart, and a measure of the soul's alignment with the law of abundance. Those who pursue wealth solely in the material sense often find that even when they achieve great financial success, there is an emptiness that cannot be filled by gold or property. This is because the mind and the heart, when unbalanced, do not recognize material gain as true wealth. Peace, love, and freedom are the essential elements that complete the circle of prosperity. Without them, riches can become a burden rather than a blessing, and the soul may feel impoverished even in the midst of apparent affluence. Peace is the first cornerstone of true wealth. A mind at rest, free from worry and fear, creates an inner environment in which abundance can flourish. Those who are constantly anxious, preoccupied, or troubled create resistance to the natural flow of prosperity. Peace is not merely the absence of conflict, it is the presence of harmony within, the ability to trust in the unfolding of life, and the conscious recognition that the universe is a benevolent force. When the mind is peaceful, opportunities for growth and success become clear, decisions are made with discernment, and obstacles are perceived as temporary and surmountable. In this state, wealth flows not as a struggle, but as a natural accompaniment to inner calm and centeredness. Love is the second essential element of true wealth. Love generates a vibrational energy that attracts abundance in every form. It is not limited to romantic affection or familial bonds. It is the universal expression of goodwill, generosity, and compassion. When one operates from a place of love, every action becomes an act of alignment with the creative principle of the universe. Love for oneself, for one's work, and for others creates a magnetic field that draws prosperity effortlessly. Conversely, a mind dominated by envy, resentment, or hostility repels the very good it seeks. True wealth grows exponentially in an atmosphere of love, because it resonates with the eternal law of giving and receiving. To give with an open heart is to open the channels for receiving, and abundance flows freely to those who cultivate this state of consciousness. Freedom is the third dimension of true wealth. Material riches without freedom are merely the trappings of success, offering the illusion of abundance, while the soul remains constrained. Freedom encompasses choice, autonomy, and the ability to direct one's life according to the inner guidance of spirit. A person who possesses wealth but feels trapped by obligations, fear, or societal expectations is still poor in the truest sense. Freedom allows the expression of creativity, the pursuit of purpose, and the experience of joy. It is the condition in which material resources can be fully utilized to serve higher aims, personal growth, and the enrichment of others. True prosperity is incomplete without this liberation of the mind and heart. The integration of peace, love, and freedom creates a state of being in which material abundance flows naturally and without struggle. Those who cultivate these qualities understand that wealth is not something to be chased but something to be recognized and expanded within themselves. They align their thoughts, words, and actions with the law of prosperity, knowing that the outer world will inevitably mirror the inner state. Each act of generosity, each moment of gratitude, each choice to release fear and embrace joy strengthens this alignment and amplifies the flow of abundance. Wealth is the natural fruit of a consciousness attuned to these higher principles. Many people make the mistake of focusing exclusively on external acquisition, believing that the accumulation of money or possessions will bring happiness. They neglect the cultivation of inner peace, the practice of love, and the pursuit of freedom. As a result, they experience temporary satisfaction but long-term dissatisfaction, for material wealth alone cannot fill the void created by inner discord. The universe responds to the state of consciousness first. Material manifestations follow. Therefore, to attract lasting prosperity, one must first cultivate the invisible riches of the heart and mind. This is the foundation upon which enduring wealth is built. Peace, love, and freedom also serve as protective measures for prosperity. A person who is grounded in these qualities is less likely to be swayed by fear, envy, or greed, which are common pitfalls of material success. They approach opportunities with discernment, make decisions from a place of balance, and maintain integrity in all interactions. In this way, the flow of abundance is sustained and multiplied. Wealth, when anchored in these principles, is not fleeting but enduring, supporting not only personal needs but also the enrichment of others. It becomes a source of influence, joy, and inspiration, rather than a source of stress or conflict. Gratitude and recognition play a crucial role in connecting material wealth with these higher dimensions of prosperity. Appreciating the abundance already present, whether in relationships, health, talents, or material resources, creates a vibrational resonance that attracts more of the same. Gratitude is a bridge between what exists and what is desired, a powerful amplifier of the law of attraction. When combined with peace, love, and freedom, it forms a triumphant circle in which inner and outer prosperity reinforce one another, creating a life of richness that is holistic and deeply satisfying. Another key aspect is the understanding that true wealth is inherently creative. Those who embrace peace, love, and freedom do not hoard or cling. They innovate, share, and expand. Creativity is a reflection of the inner abundance and serves as a channel through which wealth can manifest in new and unexpected forms. By expressing ideas, nurturing talents, and contributing to the well-being of others, one experiences the joy of abundance and activates the law that ensures prosperity continues to flow. In this sense, wealth is not static. It is dynamic, living, and ever-growing. Furthermore, the cultivation of these qualities fosters resilience. Life presents challenges, and those who understand that true wealth is more than material are able to navigate setbacks with grace and equanimity. Peace allows them to remain centered. Love allows them to maintain harmonious relationships, and freedom allows them to adjust and make choices without fear. This resilience ensures that prosperity is sustained through all circumstances, not dependent on temporary conditions or fleeting advantages. The inner wealth of mind and heart protects and enhances outer wealth, creating a life of stability and fulfillment. The conscious pursuit of peace, love, and freedom transforms the very nature of prosperity. It shifts focus from scarcity to abundance, from competition to cooperation, from limitation to limitless possibility. In this state, every action is aligned with the natural law of success, and opportunities for growth, joy, and material gain arise effortlessly. Wealth becomes a reflection of the inner condition, an expression of a life lived in harmony with universal principles. Those who understand this secret move through the world with confidence and grace, attracting abundance in all forms and creating a lasting foundation for prosperity. The universe is always in perfect harmony with the desires and thoughts impressed upon it. It is a living, responsive entity, obedient to the law of manifestation, and it acts without delay when the signal it receives is clear, focused, and unwavering. Many people fail to recognize the immediacy of this law because their thoughts are scattered, inconsistent, or tinged with doubt. The universe does not move according to the schedules of man or the uncertainty of human emotion. It responds precisely and instantaneously to the energy of desire as it is impressed upon the mind. Understanding this truth is the key to unlocking rapid and lasting prosperity, for it reveals that manifestation is not a matter of waiting, struggle, or effort, but of alignment and clarity. Focus is the foundation of this principle. A mind that is scattered or divided cannot send a coherent signal to the universe. Each thought that wanders in uncertainty, each hesitation, and each wavering desire dilutes the power of manifestation. The law operates with precision. It mirrors the state of consciousness exactly. Therefore, to attract wealth, opportunity, or success quickly, one must cultivate a concentrated mental image of what is desired. This image must be detailed, vivid, and sustained in the mind without interruption. Just as a beam of sunlight can cut through darkness when concentrated, so too does a focused desire penetrate the invisible field, and ring forth results with astonishing speed. Unwavering desire is equally essential. Desire that is uncertain, fleeting, or weak cannot compel the law into action. It is the intensity of the desire, combined with faith and clarity, that creates a magnetic force. This desire must be free from contradiction or hesitation, expressed as a firm conviction that what is sought is already on its way. The universe does not respond to vacillation, it responds to certainty. Each thought of doubt or second-guessing sends mixed signals, creating a delay in manifestation. The secret is to cultivate a desire so strong, so clear, and so consistent that it leaves no room for question, knowing fully that the desired outcome exists in the invisible realm and is moving into form. Right thinking is the alignment that gives direction and purpose to desire. Thoughts must be aligned with truth, positivity, and the understanding that abundance is natural and lawful. The mind that dwells on lack, limitation, or impossibility sends a false vibration that the universe cannot ignore, resulting in circumstances that reflect scarcity rather than abundance. Right thinking is disciplined thinking. It is the conscious choice to dwell on solutions rather than problems, to affirm possibilities rather than limitations, and to hold the vision of success as a present reality rather than a distant hope. In this way, desire is supported and strengthened by a mental climate that is fertile for manifestation. Clarity in thought and feeling is the signal that compels the universe into immediate action. When you see your goal clearly, feel it vividly, and hold it with unshakable conviction, you create an energy pattern that cannot fail to attract corresponding circumstances. Visualization amplifies this clarity, allowing the mind to experience the desired outcome as if it already exists. The emotional component cannot be ignored. Feeling is the amplifier of thought. Joy, gratitude, and satisfaction act as accelerants in the process of manifestation, giving power and urgency to the signal being sent. When desire, clarity, and feeling are combined, the current of abundance flows with speed and precision. The universality of this law ensures that all who align with it can access rapid manifestation. It does not favor one individual over another, nor does it act according to human perception of time. The law responds to the vibrational state of consciousness alone. Therefore, wealth, opportunity, or success can be attracted instantly when the mind is in perfect alignment. The law is impartial and exact. It acts without judgment and without delay. Every thought, every word, and every feeling impressed upon it produces a corresponding result. And this is why the mastery of consciousness is of paramount importance. Consistency is another key factor in harnessing the instantaneous response of the universe. Desire must not be fleeting or sporadic. The law responds cumulatively, reinforcing and building upon every thought and word aligned with the goal. Daily attention, affirmation, and visualization create a steady current that cannot be stopped. Just as a river carved through rock over time creates a permanent channel, consistent, focused desire builds a pathway through which abundance flows continuously. Any lapse into negativity or doubt weakens the current, slowing the arrival of results, which is why persistence and vigilance in thought are critical. Action, when aligned with focused desire, serves as the tangible extension of invisible law. The universe provides opportunities, resources, and circumstances in response to aligned consciousness, but one must recognize and act upon them. Right action is not forced or frantic. It is the natural expression of inspired thought and clear vision. When the mind is attuned to the law, guidance appears, often unexpectedly, and responding to it moves the invisible into the visible. Action is the physical confirmation of faith, the bridge between desire impressed in the mind and manifestation in the world. Obedience to the principle of alignment ensures that manifestation occurs without struggle. Resistance, hesitation, or contradiction in thought and feeling delays the response of the universe. Those who understand this law know that the key is not to force circumstances but to perfect the inner signal. A mind filled with clarity, unwavering desire, right thinking, and emotional conviction becomes a magnet to all that is needed. The speed of manifestation is proportional to the absence of inner conflict and the presence of mental and emotional alignment. Gratitude and recognition further strengthen the instantaneous response. By acknowledging that the desired outcome is already present in the invisible realm, one intensifies the current and reinforces faith. Gratitude confirms trust in the law, signals receptivity, and maintains the purity of focus. It is the affirmation that what is desired is not distant or uncertain, but already moving toward completion. Every acknowledgement, every moment of appreciation, magnifies the attraction and accelerates the manifestation process. The principle of instant response also teaches the importance of removing mental blocks. Any lingering fear, doubt, or negativity interrupts the flow of abundance. It is essential to monitor thoughts continuously and replace them with affirmations, visualization, and confident expectation. By maintaining a clear, unwavering signal, the law acts without hesitation, bringing into form exactly what has been impressed upon it. Those who master this principle experience the remarkable speed with which prosperity, opportunity, and success appear, often beyond expectation, demonstrating the power of focused desire aligned with right thinking.